Okay. So we're gonna continue where you left off yesterday. I think you had class and you were seeing the speaking section, in particular the question number 2 in the actual TOEFL. So as you were seeing yesterday, I had the opportunity to see the video of the class. So I saw that you already have an idea of what it is like the question. Now, as Mr. Gaba said, there's always going to be a change on the campus. So you're going to have, first you're going to read a passage, an article. Well, it's going to be a passage about explaining a change in the campus. It could be a proposal made by one of the administrators of the university, or it could be maybe a proposal by one of the students, or it could also be directly a change that is already being accepted. But it is always going to be about a change on the campus. And then after reading the passage, you're going to have to listen to one conversation between two students. And one student is always going to object to what the passage said. So whatever the change is, so let's say, for example, the university is proposing to change a light, then the student is going to say, is oppose to that change. And there are always going to be two reasons in both. So if the university is going to present two reasons why they want to do that change, and on the other hand, the student is always going to present other two reasons that can be called counter arguments, because they're going to oppose to the first two reasons. Hello, Martina.
Hi, teacher.
If you could please turn your camera on.
Okay, I'm connecting my camera, so
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So, my name is Andrea, by the way. I'm going to be teaching you only today's class, and we're just going to continue with what you were seeing yesterday. Okay, so we were saying, as you said yesterday, we're just remembering a little bit. In the second question of the speaking section, you're going to have first to read a passage that's going to explain a change that's happening on the campus. And then you're going to have to listen to a conversation between two students, and one student is always going to be opposing the change that has been proposed or that has been already been accepted. So in the reading, you're gonna have to identify first the change, and then we're gonna see what are the steps. So first, you're gonna identify the change. What is being proposed, or what is the change that they're talking about? And then you're gonna have to identify the two reasons why this change is happening. So, okay, let's try to see an example. I saw that you were seeing one example yesterday about implementing art. You remember that? I don't have that specific example, but it would be good. I don't know if Mr. Marcelo is there.
Yes, I'm here.
I don't know if it's better if we could continue with the example that they were seeing yesterday. So
It was Magoosh.
it was about implementing art in the hallways.
Do you remember if it was Sing Magoosh or the program?
Yes, it was in the program. Yeah.
I send you the credentials right now. I send you the credentials so that you can get in Magoosh. You can get in the account of Magoosh.
Where do you send?
It's in the chat of Zoom.
Okay. Okay.
So you go to magoosh.com and you go to TOEFL and you sign in with the password that I send you.
Do I have to download the application, yeah? Or is it just a website?
It's a website, magoosh.com.
Okay.
There you can practice. You go to TOEFL. Log in.
Do I just put my email?
No, it's mine. It's Marcelo Gamboa Torres at gmail.com. Can I send you at gmail.com? And the password is pool.
Yes, I copied.
You have okay. So you have, and you can go in there and you go to practice, like in the superior side of the
Where?
screen. Practice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there, custom practice. No, custom practice.
Custom.
Exactly, and then you hit like in custom, you hit like speaking section, and number two. We're talking about number 2 right now. So you put answer and an unanswered, like question pool, and there you go. You can go start. Don't forget to share also the sound of your computer in Zoom. You know how to do that, right? It's like you share the screen and you share the audio as well. Like you click when you're sharing your screen, you have like a green thing, right? It says share screen, and when you're selecting the screen, you put there's one checkbox or box mark below, and it says like share also audio.
Okay, then I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna share again.
Okay. Okay, there's nobody here. I don't know what happened, but in each class we have at least 5 people, right? Valentina, are you there? Yeah, right?
Okay, now I see it.
That probably is because it's Friday.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. How do I continue?
No, it says next, like in tweet.
Okay.
Exactly. No, it was like practice. There's some practice. Number 2. Answer.
Okay, now here we have the example. I think you did the example, but you didn't get to see how it's actually done. So we're gonna see that now. Okay, so as I was saying, first we're gonna have this reading. It's always gonna be about a change on campus, and we have to identify, as I said, first we have to identify what is the change as we read, and we have to do it as fast as we can, because if not, then we're gonna. I think we have, if I'm not wrong, we're gonna have. No, it's 60 seconds to speak and 3 minutes to read the passage. I think, oh, let me see. No, it's less. Yeah, I'm sure it's less. Okay, I'm gonna see.
So you have,
Sorry?
you have 20 seconds to read the passage, right?
20 seconds, okay.
Yeah, I think it's, you can go there. It says like, but after that, you can have everybody like read the passage
Okay,
and after that, then you listen again and that's all.
now we're gonna read the passage now. The university is pleased to announce that the Secretary of the State will be making a 1-hour speech on the future of modern warfare in the Kincaid Auditorium on Friday, May 14th at 3 p.m. Admission is guaranteed to all students in the political science and government departments. Applications are now open for 100 additional seats in the audience. Applicants should fill the accompanying form and include a 1,000-word essay explaining why attendance will be important for them. A committee of professors from the political science and government departments will evaluate the applications. So what is the change now? We're gonna see what's changing. If someone can tell me. Have you identified the change? Anyone?
That now the applications are open for 100 additional seats.
Exactly. Well, not really. Now applicants are gonna have to write about 1,000-word essay. So this essay wasn't there before, and now when you wanna apply, you're gonna have to write that essay. So that's the change. Why we identify the change. Now applicants should write a 1,000-word essay. That's the change. Now, what are the reasons why this change is happening? Why do they want applicants to write this essay? Does anyone know? There are always two reasons, so you have to try to identify them while you're reading. So if okay, let's read one more. The union announced that the Secretary of State will be making a 1-hour speech on the future of. Excuse me, no, it's good. The university is pleased to announce that the Secretary of State will be making a 1-hour speech on the future of modern warfare in the Kincaid Auditorium on Friday, May 14th at 3 p.m. Admission is guaranteed to all students in the political science and government departments. Applications are now open for 100 additional seats in the audience. So here you can see the two reasons, right? Did you identify them?
The part of the admissions is graduated all the students, and open for 100 additional seats, maybe.
So we're gonna write them. The two reasons. One, we have that admission is guaranteed to all students in the political science and government departments. We're gonna paste here. Right. And the other one we said, applications are now open for 100 additional seats in the audience. So that's another reason. Okay. Now that we have identified what is the change and what are the reasons, now we're gonna have to listen to the conversation between the two students. So, okay, be prepared. Okay, listen carefully.
Now listen to two students discussing the announcement.
Can you believe that the Secretary of State's speech is being limited to students in the political science and government departments? It's really unfair that they get guaranteed access.
Wait, really? I mean, don't you agree that the Secretary of State's speech is especially important to students in government and political science?
But what about students in history or cultural studies? It's wrong to assume that just because someone studies government, the speech would automatically be more important for them.
I guess so, but can't you still apply to get a seat? So if it is important to you, you can just, show them that it is.
With the essay? That's not exactly ideal. The people who judge the essays will be professors from government and political science. They have their own ideas about what good and bad reasons are. They'll be too prejudiced.
You think?
Totally. I mean, how would they be able to judge an essay by someone like a poet or a computer scientist or a sculptor? They'll probably just dismiss those essays completely.
The female student expresses her opinion about why she disagrees with the university's new policy. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for holding that opinion.
Okay. Now, the important part here is to take notes as well what you have understood while listening. So the same, the change is obviously gonna be the same, but reasons are actually opposite to what the reasons for the university to do the change are. So that's why they're called counter-arguments. So there are reasons that are opposed to this. So why the same? Then, as we listen to the conversation, what we have to do is take notes. Just it doesn't have to be like extensive notes. You can just write keywords that are gonna remind you what are the reasons why the student doesn't want the change to happen. So, have you taken any notes? Do you have any ideas? What are those reasons?
Yes. One of them, it was because professors could be a little bit prejudiced.
Right, because she says that how those professors from political science, I think, how are they gonna evaluate those essays if they have already like perspectives well established? How are they gonna, let's say, evaluate a poem or a sculpture? I think she mentions. So that's one reason. Very good. Professors. She doesn't agree that professors from the political science and government department should not evaluate the essays. And why shouldn't they evaluate the essays? Because, or for, or as, they have their own perspectives, and as you said, they could be prejudiced. They could have prejudice. Okay, that's one reason. And what was the other one? I think she was upset that they assumed that just because the student was in that department, they were interested in getting a seat. So she said that they could not assume that just because the student belongs to that department, they want to get in, right, to the program, we could say. So those were the two counter-arguments or the two reasons against the change that were given by the student. So, well, those were the steps. So let's see, what did we do? First, while reading the passage, we first identify the change. It's pretty obvious, the change, it's always the easiest part. Then we have to identify the two reasons why this change is happening. One thing is that during the reading, it's not necessary for you to take notes because you're going to have the reading always there. So if you don't take notes, it's not a big deal, really. So yeah, but you need to identify the two reasons why the change is happening. And this is easier always in the reading part. And then while you're listening, they're not gonna play the listening twice, right? So you have to be fast and take notes, just key ideas. You don't have to write like I did here, right? You could just write maybe professors and prejudice or professors and perspectives, and that's gonna give you the idea. And the same, maybe you could write assuming, and just that's gonna be, just write keywords. I'm gonna put here, because you're not really gonna have time to write everything down. Keywords, okay. And then we have this script. Okay, so basically we're gonna tell you what to say, obviously based on what you've heard and what you've read, but you have a very well written script and you're gonna have to follow this. So first you start with reason one. Reason one is the reason why the change is happening, right? The reason that the university states. So what was reason one? Admission is guaranteed to all students in the political science and government departments. So you just write that down. Well, it's a speaking, you cannot write, but you have to maybe notes, or if you're gonna practice this like 4 or 5 times, and then you're gonna do it. You're not even gonna need to write anything. But now we're gonna write so that we can remember how it's done. So first you write reason one. And what was it? It was reason one. So you have it there, reason one. And then after that, you always have to write this or say this on top of that. It's a connector. I believe you have already seen connectors, and they're really important because they let people see, well, they let the people who evaluate the TOEFL see that you can actually use that, and they're very used like by native speakers, and that you have a strong knowledge of the language. That's what connectors show, and that's why it's very important to use them. And it's basically mandatory. You have to follow this script. So first you put reason one, then you have on top of that, it means like in addition, there are a lot of this, and there could be more than 2 that means the same. So it's like also in addition, on top of that, and then you write reason 2. So what was reason 2? Applications are now open for 100 additional seats on the audience. So you write that. There you go. Then you put accordingly. You have to say this accordingly always. So it's like you have reason 1 in addition and reason 2, and because of those 2 reasons, then accordingly you're gonna have to do that change. That's why, because of those 2 reasons, the university wants to do the change. So then after accordingly, you have to say, explain what is the change. and then you write a change. So you could say, yeah, these are like notes. When you're speaking, obviously you're not gonna say applicants should write. Oh, well, it's you could say applicants should now write 1,000 word essay. So this is because of those two reasons. Now, timing is very important. You have to have a good time management. The good thing is that you're gonna have a timer here, so you're gonna be able to see in what second, how many seconds you have left, how many seconds you have spoken. So when the timer is in 36, that's a sign that you should already have said all of this. Reason 1, reason 2, and explain the change. By 36 seconds, when you have 36 seconds left, you have to go on and move to the second part. And this is the second part. Now, as we've said, you have the university wanting to make a change, and then you have the student who opposes to that change. And opposes is a synonym of advocates, right? So you can just write this. You have to write this, actually. The student does not advocate with that idea. That means the student does not agree. The student is against that idea, right? And then you have to explain why. Obviously, the idea you have already explained, and that is a change. But then you have to explain why the student is against this idea. So then you put firstly, and then you explain the first counter-argument, the first reason why the student is opposing to this change. So what is the first reason? We have written out here, right? This is the first one. Professors from the political science and governmental departments should not evaluate the essays, for they have their own perspectives and they could have prejudices, right? So we write that down. But there's one thing here. If you can see, we have two clauses here. One, that professors should not evaluate the essays, and then we have the reason, right? Why they should not evaluate the reasons, the essay, because they have their own perspectives and they could be judgmental, they could have prejudices. So you have to write that down here. Firstly, professors should not evaluate the students' essays. And why shouldn't they evaluate the essays? And that's, okay, we're gonna, it's in month, okay. And why shouldn't they evaluate the essays? And that's why you have this connector here, due to the fact, and that means because in a more sophisticated way, let's say. So that's why you have due to the fact, and we have already said why, right? We have said because they have their own perspectives and they could judge or they could have prejudices. So why? Due to the fact that they have their own perspectives and they could have prejudice. And that's the second reason. Well, the first counter-argument on the first reason against. And then again, you have to see your timer. You have to make sure that you have 18 seconds left to say what's next. So then you have to say the last one. I mean, the second reason against, or the second counter-argument. So you have to say this. In addition to this, right? In addition to the first reason, you have another reason. So in addition, they, professors, right? We have to clarify this because we can be talking about university too. In addition, professors from the political and no, professors should not assume, right? Okay. In addition, professors should not assume that just because the student belongs to the political science and governmental department, they want to get in, right? And there you have, and you can explain even more if you want, like why for there could be students. For maybe we can mention what the girl said. I remember she said that the students could maybe present, I don't know, a poem or some kind of art, and how are they going to evaluate that? So let's put that. For students might present a poem or let's say an artwork. Okay, so now we have this, and this is what you should say always. You always have to use these connectors because this script has been based on things that are successful when speaking in the TOEFL. So it's gonna help you a lot. You just have to remember and memorize practically these connectors here, and then you're gonna be just fine. So this is it, basically. Now, should we do one more? Maybe you should do one by your own. Okay, let's see if we have one more.
It's not necessary to put a conclusion, no?
No, not really. I mean, you could, but no, you have 60 seconds, so you're really not gonna have time to do that. As you can see, you have a very limited time, and you have when you have to try to keep these seconds, right? When you have 36 seconds left, you should already have been said all of this. And if you say a conclusion, you're not gonna get it on time. So, and it's not necessary either. So no. Okay, let's do one.
Teacher,
Yeah.
is that material available for us to know it? The word sheet, the word.
The practices.
Yeah, no, the examples that you were given. Yeah, using the connectors.
Yes,
on the
yes,
top
I
of
can
that.
share it. I can share it with you.
Oh yeah.
Yes, of course, I'm gonna share it at the end of the class. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Now this is the one that we made. I don't know if there's another example here. Maybe. Okay, we're gonna search for another one. Okay, let me search for another example. I'm sorry, Mr. Marcelo, are you there?
What happened?
I don't know if you have another example, so we can do one more.
Okay, so you've done the whole 4?
No, but are the 4 the question 2?
Okay, so you should click on question 2, right?
Yes.
It's
I
question
did.
2.
So you have 4 examples in each?
Yeah, but you need to click in and answer it and answer. There you have 6 tasks. So you should try to make everybody probably like with the clock speak, right?
Yes.
And finally, I would like to clarify to all that you have like you'll have a read, and you'll not have you'll have the text, and you need to take notes very quickly because it will not show up later. So when it shows up, it's in the writing section, in the number 1. But in this one, that's the only thing. Everything else was correctly done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now we have another example. We're gonna do this. Now you're gonna try to do this, and with the timer too. And this timer, we're gonna do speaking, not writing. So, okay. You want me to read this, or you want to read it? Okay, I'm gonna read it, and you can read it with me too. The university is committed to healthy eating and sensitive to recent criticisms that the cafeteria menu is too limited. For this reason, beginning this week, a vegetarian hot meal will be served every Friday to all students. It is hoped that this policy will encourage healthy dietary habits among members of our community and address the problem expressed by vegetarian students about limited menu options. Of course, all students are welcome to make use of the salad bar 7 days a week, regardless of the hot meal being offered. So there you go. Now, you're gonna tell me, and we're gonna do this as fast as possible. And then you're gonna speak, okay? What was the change?
That they are going to change the menu on the cafeteria of the university for a vegetarian hot meal.
Yes, but they mention a day, a specific day when they're gonna serve a vegetarian meal. Do you remember what day it was?
Friday.
Exactly. So on Fridays.
Friday they are.
Exactly. On Fridays, the cafeteria is going to serve a vegetarian meal. And do you remember what the reasons were? There were 2 reasons.
It was too limited, the menu, it was too limited.
Exactly, vegetarians said that, right? They were complaining. That the menu was too limited. And there was another one. The first one, actually, what was it? Anyone remember? Okay. Okay, it doesn't matter because anyway, in the exam, you're gonna have the reading passage there. So what matters most is the listening. So now we're gonna listen, and please take notes. As I said, just quick notes and keywords that help you remember. And then we're gonna, if you want, we can see again the reading, but the listening, you're just gonna have to listen once. So please be prepared.
Now listen to 2 students discussing the announcement.
Can you believe this ridiculous new policy about vegetarian meals every Friday?
What's wrong with it? I mean, I thought you were a vegetarian. Isn't this exactly what you would want?
Yeah, I'm vegetarian, but we told the head of the dining hall that it was unfair that every day of the week, the hot meal seemed to include meat, and students like me were basically forced to have cold dinner all the time.
What's the problem then?
We pay a full meal plan like everybody else does, but we don't get hot food like everybody else does. We wanted a vegetarian option to be included every day of the week on the menu as an alternative for vegetarians, so we can have a proper meal for dinner.
But one meal a week is better than nothing, you know?
Not really. The university thinks that this will appease us, but I still have to eat salad 4 days a week. It's really repetitive.
Yeah, I could see that getting old.
Tell me about it. And have you actually used the salad bar? Half of it is totally inedible. The lettuce is all wilted. The tomatoes are tasteless. It's not exactly fine dining.
The female student expresses her opinion about why she disagrees with the university's new policy. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for holding that opinion.
Okay, perfect. Now we're not gonna write the reasons. We're just gonna write down the script so that you can be guided with that while you're speaking, because you're gonna speak on a timer. So you have reason 1, on top of that, reason 2, and then accordingly, and change, right? And then by then you have 36 seconds left. And you have to say, student not allocate that idea, right? First. Okay, now this is the script, right? Here you have to have 18 minutes left. Okay, so if you can, I'm gonna put the timer and okay, and you're gonna start for series 60 seconds. Okay, let's say 1 minute and 3 seconds. I know this is hard. Okay. Now, yeah, who's gonna start? Vania, can you start? Okay.
Okay.
Remember, you're gonna have here the script. I'm gonna do this a little bit, so you can be guided through that. But just for now, okay?
Okay. The university wants. Oh, okay. The university wants to change the menu of the cafeteria because the students are complaining about the limit menu on the vegetarian meal. But on the listening part, the student does not advocate with that idea. Firstly, because he said that it is unfair because she have to eat 4 days cold dinner. Every day she wants to have a proper meal. She was complaining because she needs to eat every day salad, and that includes lettuce that are melted and tomatoes that are not good. In addition, the other students say that it's better to have one hot meal vegetarian one day instead of nothing.
Thank you, Vania. Now you, Valentina. Okay, I'm gonna find her again. Yeah. Okay, now Valentina, please.
Okay. The first reason for the change was the get a policy that healthier way to eat, and on the top of that, the vegetarian were complaining about the meals. According to that, the university made the change and add 1 meal per week vegetarian. The student does not advocate that idea. Firstly, the vegetarian lady thought that was ridiculous and unfair because it's just 1 meal, and the rest of the week she has to eat just salad, and the salad was tasteless, the tomatoes and lettuce. And the other student told to her, like, okay, it's better has 1 meal a week, but it's better than nothing.
Okay. Okay, very good. Now, some suggestions. I saw that you follow the script, not completely, but some of the words. Okay, now, first, you don't need to say the first reason is. Here, I just put this, but you don't actually have to say that. You just go on and say, for example, what was the first reason that the university is looking for, I don't know, create a more healthier. That was the first reason, let's say. So that you just have to go on and say the reason, because first you're gonna be losing time, and then it's not necessary, and it doesn't sound really good. So you just said the university is looking for create a more a healthier menu, period. On top of that, and then you add the second reason, right? And what was the second reason? That the vegetarians were complaining, right? On top of that, the vegetarian students, you could say, vegetarian students were complaining. About the menu, or let's say about we're complaining because the menu is too limited. Accordingly, and then you introduce the change. So what is the change? Accordingly, on Fridays, the cafeteria will be serving a vegetarian meal. So there you go. And then the second part, I think you guys said it right. The student does not advocate that idea. Firstly, and you have to insert the first reason, right? And what was the first reason? The student said, I think you, Valentina, said that it was ridiculous, no? She's
unfair.
Yes. Firstly, she thinks the idea is absurd. And then you have to say why, right? And then it's due to the fact that, and why did she think it was absurd?
Because she has just 1 meal, a vegetarian option, and the
Exactly, right? Because she was gonna eat anyway 4 days a week, just salad and cold meals, and just 1 day she would have a vegetarian meal. So it was ridiculous, right? So due to the fact that she would anyway eat cold meals or salad 4 times a week, right? We're gonna have this in bold so that it's more clear. Okay, these are the words that you have to use. You have to study and memorize it. They're not a lot, so it's not really that difficult, but it's important that you know them by heart because you're gonna have to use them. Okay. So firstly, she thinks the idea is absurd due to the fact that she would anyway eat cold meals or salad 4 times a week, right? And what was the second reason then? In addition, what was the second reason? Do you remember? Another thing that I'm forgetting, you don't need to say, you just have to talk about one student, the one that is complaining, the one that is opposed to the change. You don't have to talk about the other student. I remember you said something like that the other student told her that it's better to eat once than never, but you have to mention him at all because if you listen well, they said that you have to talk about the girl, what she said, right? So usually the other student is a passive listener, so he really doesn't say much. But you have to focus always on the one that is opposing to the change. So in addition, what did she say? She said that, go on.
That lettuce and tomatoes are in a bad.
Yeah, she said that the food that she
wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't eatable, right? She said that because lettuce and tomatoes, they were bad. So, okay, we write down. In addition, she states that salads are not eatable. And then you explain why aren't the salads eatable and why? Because I don't know. You can be specific. It doesn't really matter. So like you could say maybe vegetables are not in good conditions or something like that. Or you could say for tomatoes and lettuce are not good. So it doesn't matter. And there you are. So it's, as you can see, it's really short and you can say that in a few words so that you have enough time, you don't run out of time. And you just say the main ideas, the keywords, right? The main ideas of both of them, of the university making the change and the student opposing to the change. So that's it, basically. We have class until 9, 1 hour, or yes, so it's already 9, I don't know. We have to, yeah, I think we have to, yeah, that's it for today.
Okay, thank you. You are going to send this to the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I'm gonna send it to the group.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know if Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Marcelo, are you there? So I think we're done for today.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll have the class on. I think we have the classes on Friday, so it'll be on Wednesday, right? Am I right? Yeah, right. So you'll have the practice. So we're gonna continue with what we've said here, and I hope everybody liked teacher Andrea because she's part of the team, and we'll have the class on Wednesday. Okay, that's it for everybody. Thank you very much.